You gonna be in the video? Yeah? Okay. Hi guys. I have my son here. What's your name?
Messer.
Messer, my son. How old are you?
7.
7. Okay. So we thought maybe you guys would be interested in what we're doing here. We have guess where trips. If you've never heard of it, I hadn't heard of it either until a couple months ago, and it's the coolest thing ever, so we wanted to share it with you. So basically I went on guesswhere.com and you could pick a location where you want your trip to start. So you could pick Calgary, Windsor, Vancouver, Toronto, Hamilton, wherever you want. And there's different trips on there. So you can do kid-friendly, you can do adult-friendly, dog-friendly, whatever you're looking for. But the thing is they don't tell you what you're doing, where you're going, or any of the above. You literally have no idea, hence the guess where trips. So, we received this package. When you open it up, Messer, do you want to show them this?
Sure.
I'll hold it up for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so we received 4 envelopes. So the first one says before you go. So we'll get to open that one before we leave. So that one will basically say anything that's like, pack a swimsuit, pack this, pack that, right? It just kind of gives you hints on what you'll need for your trip. And then the one behind that is envelope number 1, which then tells you where your destination, where they want you to drive, little pit stops on the way for sightseeing and whatever else. Really cool. We'll go over those as we open them. And then, what else do we have? We got the road trip game pack. Sorry if it got a little bit dark, our light turned off, so we're still gonna roll with it. So basically this is just a game pack for traveling. No, it's okay, honey, it died. Can you come sit? It died. So yeah, in here is just a bunch of different games. There's trivia, around the world trivia, conversation starters. There's even bingo. So we have to find all these things on our trip and we'll see who gets the bingo.
We start with Lala.
Yeah, we can start with Lala, our dog. That's a good one, honey. But yeah, so for just this Guess Where You Go package, it costs, I believe, $68. And then I added the road trip, and with tax and shipping, I think it costs like $80.
That's not that expensive.
No, it's not that bad. And like it's a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day trip. We're from Lloydminster, so for us to drive to Calgary is already 5 hours, so it's gonna be quite the trip for us. What are you most excited about?
How am I supposed to be excited if I don't even know where we're going?
That's true. That's what I'm excited about, is that I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, maybe just playing the games.
Playing the games? Yeah, everything's gonna be a surprise. Anyways, keep you guys updated. Bye. Okay, we got Tyler in the background. That's my boyfriend. Messer's gonna open our first envelope.
If I know how to.
You wanna move over here, what?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's on camera. Okay. Back to regular scheduled programming. Okay. So you want to open it? Oh my god.
You can get these off, or
Are you going to open it today or tomorrow?
I don't know. I gotta get the sticker
Here,
off.
just go like this.
What are you doing?
Pick it out for Mom. All right, so it looks like this before you go. It says, welcome to the ultimate surprise guide. And then it says some things there.
You didn't even turn the first page.
And then it says time to depart, optional. A Very Good Time, Views and Falls, Quirky History, The Power of Nature. So you can see how it has numbers. That's what each of these envelopes have. So like it says, the first one says A Very Good Time. And so that must be this one, number 1. But yeah, so cool. And then, oh, it says like how it works, itinerary changes, when to go, what to pack. Okay, so what to pack: a vehicle with full tank of gas, weather appropriate clothing, apparel, some form of GPS, cell phone charging cables, wallet and cash, hand sanitizer and face mask, your guestware trips package, and don't forget road trip music. Head to GWT's road trip playlist on Spotify.
Ooh.
So it looks like we can scan this and we have a music playlist for our trip. That's cool, hey? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Cool. So then it just says like how to make it an overnight trip. Can I bring my dog? How many people can I bring?
Let's bring our dog.
We can't bring Wawa, honey, because you know she doesn't go to the bathroom in places. So yeah, that's the first one. Our bags are packed and we're ready to go. We'll update you when we open our first one. So we decided, since I have 6 days off, that we would do something before we start our guestware trips. So we took Messer to the Dinosaur Museum, which is in Drumheller. And I've been there before when I was little, but I haven't been there since. So I don't really remember it, but it's kind of crazy how you're just driving in Alberta. It's pretty flat. And then all of a sudden you see all of this. Like, you feel like you went to another world. It is just so crazy. And I feel like it's really beautiful in its own weird way. But we just really enjoyed looking around at all the exhibits. And then after we were done looking around, we went outside and we went for a really long walk. We were just like following a trail. And I swear to God, this trail just never ended. So we ended up just stopping and going back the other way because we're actually confused. We're like, where is this trail going? And it was a lot of fun. It was really hot, but it was a lot of fun. So from there, we just drove to Calgary. And you guys, we stayed at a hotel in Calgary called Port O Cal. It's right by the airport. And it had 2 water slides. It had a really cool pool. It had 2 hot tubs. And it even had a separate little pool with a little slide for like the little guys. And I'm telling you, you have to stay there. If you're ever having to stay in Calgary and you have a flight the next day or something, and you have small children, it is so fun. It was like a little water park within the hotel. So highly recommend the Port O Cal in Calgary. So the next day we started on our tour, and it took us to the Saskatoon Berry Farm, which I had never even heard of before. Basically, it was right outside of Calgary, and it was a farm that had tons of Saskatoon berries. It was like what they're known for, what they bake with, and jams and jellies and all these sort of things. And it was so cool. It was set up like it looked like an old town or something, and you could go into all the buildings, and they had different things. Like one of the buildings was a really cool, unique, gorgeous clothing store, and there was tons of little knickknacks that you could buy. There's tons of bakery items. There's an ice cream bar, espresso bar. There was a restaurant and flowers, plants, just everything all there. And we just walked around a lot. When we were walking through the garden, there's this little spot that we found that had turtles, and it was so cool. And there was cats walking around, and dogs. Don't know if they're stray animals, but they're super friendly and cute. So had a nice little visit with them. Walking around and found this trail and followed it, and it led us to this beautiful view. We just sat down and took it all in. And mind you, I hadn't really seen my family for a while, so it just made it that much more fun. And I would definitely recommend you check out the Saskatoon farm. I would go there again for sure. Next envelope led us to the Bar U Ranch. So where it was located was when you started to see the mountains, which was super exciting because I haven't seen the mountains for 12 years. And even so, I've only seen them once. And yeah, so it was just so beautiful. So we pulled up to this Bar U Ranch and we kind of thought, that's it, right? That's what we thought. So we walk up to the building and it turns out that once you go out the back door and you go down this hill, it is like a bunch of buildings that are set up the way they were set up back in time. So it's like this little village and it's still exactly the way it used to be. And it was so cool. So they gave you a map, and on the map, you just kind of followed along with each building that you went into and explained like the building, what it was, maybe a little bit of history. And yeah, we just really enjoyed our time just walking around and exploring. My personal favorite buildings were the ones that were like the homestead. And it just looked exactly how they would have had it back then. I found that to be just so cool. And even just like their cans and their like cooking items, their peanut butter, like everything, it just looked so different and I loved it. And the best part about it is they had a closet that had some clothes in it where you could dress up like the olden days. So we picked some clothes out for my son and look how cute he is. He's just so cheeky. You could just tell he likes it. He's so cute. But yeah, so that was really fun. We were there for quite a long time. There was horses, just so many things to look at. We all agreed it was really fun. We're glad we went. Would we go again? No. Are we glad we went? Yes. So take it however you want it. That was the Bar U Ranch. After that, we went to the Maycroft. It's called Maycroft, but basically what it looked like was just this. It was just like a river passing, and it was just nice to see, like, sit kind of by the water. It had campgrounds higher up, so you could camp there if you wanted to. When Messer and I were walking through the grass, right in the pathway where he was walking, a snake started slithering. So that was like, of course, it's not this big, like, poisonous snake that you'd see in Australia or something. It was just a little gardener snake, but I've never seen one for many, many years. So I was kind of taken back and a little bit scared, but just, yeah, interesting and cool because we had never really seen one of those up close. And from there, we went to this beautiful falls. It's called Lundbreck Falls, and it is a hidden gem in Alberta. Obviously, it's not the Niagara Falls. It's not that big. It's quite small, but it was so loud and the sound of the rushing water, and it was just beautiful. We noticed on the other side, there was a bunch of steps that you could go down, and you could kind of like walk along the shore of the water. So we just gave, our son a pep talk, like, hey, no messing around. You have to hold our hands. You have to be careful. Explain, about the water. And he said, yep, he wanted to go. So we went down and we were fairly close to the falls. And yeah, honestly, probably one of my favorite parts of this trip. If you are in the area, you have to check out Lundbreck Falls. It's just beautiful. And then from there, we went to Old Man River Brewing, which is just a little brewing company. And it was like, okay. We have a brewing company in Lloydminster called Fourth Meridian, and it's like the cutest, coolest brewery you've ever seen. And so I have really high expectations for breweries, and this one didn't quite hit the mark, but oh, sorry, accidentally started playing my video, so there's some sound there. But yeah, it didn't quite hit the mark, but it was still cool. It was kind of crazy because the town where this Old Man River Brewing was located in was so small that there wasn't even a hotel or anything that you could stay at, which then made me feel like, where are these people from? Because it was like full. And I thought it'd be really cool to work here and hear different stories and people's travels and stuff like that. But yeah, so I had one of these sleeves, which had 4 little beers. It's just like a little sampler. And then Tyler had one. That's all we could have. Obviously, we had our son with us, and there's no hotels there to sleep at. And you obviously can't be like drinking and driving. So one and done for us. And then our next place we were led to was called the Burmese Tree. So this tree is actually on the side of the highway, which is a very busy highway. So if you are going to stop to see it, make sure you're pulled off super, super far to the side, because it could be dangerous there with the traffic. And so that's what we did. We parked quite a ways back and walked up to the tree. And as crazy as it is, the tree, like you look at the picture and you think, oh, that looks creepy. I felt like it actually looked beautiful. So this tree actually died in the 70s. And I don't remember if the tree is 300 or 500 years old or something, but it's super old. And it died in the 70s. So there's no quills or anything on it. In fact, there was like a metal piece that was like holding the tree up so it looks like it's standing. Very cool. I wouldn't probably go see it again, but again, so happy I did. It was a very cool experience. From there, we went to something, now I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Leech Colliers, something like that. Now, I just have to apologize because by this time I was pretty tired. There was tons of like reading boards that you could read so that you knew what that place was, but honestly I didn't read a single one of them because I was just pooped. So I didn't find this place that interesting because I don't even know right now what it even is. But my boyfriend did read the boards and he thought it was very interesting and it was one of his favorite spots. So I probably should have read the boards. But it was still nice and cool like walking around because there was tons of these pictures of what it used to look like. And that to me is really cool, like seeing what it used to look like versus now. How, for example, this building right here, this is what's left of their house. And this is what their house used to look like, right? So like when you look at those two photos and you just think, wow, like that was right here. I am standing exactly where they used to live. Like that's just so cool. And then as well as this house here, or not house, but this video, that's what it used to look like. And that's what it looks like now. Like it's just crazy. Like the railroad track is gone from there. And yeah, very cool. Should have read it. But anyways, after that, like I said, we were pretty pooped. So we ended up staying in Pincher Creek. We just got a hotel there that had a swimming pool and we went swimming. The next morning, we went to what was called Frank's Slide. That was the next place on our list, on our guestware trips. So I typed in Frank's Slide on my phone because that's how I did all of these places, was I just typed it on my Google Maps. And so it was 2.5 hours away from Pincher Creek. And we were driving and we were thinking, that's so weird because this land is pretty flat. Like, how could there be a rock slide that would knock out a whole town with this flat land? Like, we're really confused. So we're almost thinking it was going to be like a Drumheller situation where it's like flat and then boom. But we ended up turning into where it was telling us to go, and it was the Frank's Slide Museum. So it was not the actual mountain like the Frank Slide, which was so disappointing. And I felt really emotional because when I found out which way we were actually supposed to go was a different way altogether. So we would have had to drive 4 hours back to go to where the Frank Slide actually took place. And honestly, by that time, I was just so frustrated and I didn't really want to go back. And honestly cried because it was just like I really looked forward to this trip, and then we couldn't finish the whole last day of the card. So we didn't get to go to Frank Slide. We didn't get to go to Buffalo Head Smash. We didn't get to go to Nanton and go to the candy store or the clothing store or whatever that we were supposed to go to there. And yeah, so I was feeling super bummed. But I did email them regarding it, and they told me that, there's a QR code on the paper. And if you scan the QR code, it actually gives you the maps. And so that's just a little tip for you guys, that if you are doing the guestware trips, don't type it in on your phone, scan their QR code, and it will lead you to the right places so that you don't have the same error that I have. But they were really nice about it, and they actually gifted me another guestware trips in Calgary, which was just very, very kind. But yeah, I was super bummed, and thankfully my boyfriend is a very much the cup is half full type of person, and he was like, hey, let's just go to Medicine Hat. We're fairly close. We'll just head that way. So we went to Medicine Hat. And when we arrived, we went to the Windmill Garden Center and Butterfly Exhibit. You guys, if you ever go to Medicine Hat, you have to go to this place. It is the most cutest, charmist, just best place ever. So it had a bunch of plants, flowers, herbs, and in the middle, there was a butterfly exhibit. So you had to pay money to go into it, but it is well worth it. So I've been to other butterfly exhibits before, and you see a couple butterflies. This one was swarming with butterflies. Everywhere you looked, they were swarming. And not only that, but they had goldfish that were like the size of your forearm. They had budgies, little budgie birds flying around. Like, it was so cool being in there. It was really hot and lots of plants. And I'm telling you, if you ever go to Medicine Hat, you just have to make a little stop at the Windmill Garden Center and Butterfly Exhibit. Definitely worth it. So awesome. After that, we went to Mr. E's Solve It Tutorium, which is actually an escape room. My family really enjoys doing escape rooms. Don't know why. We always end up fighting in there because we just get mad that, we just get frustrated if we can't, beat it kind of thing. And then after we leave, we're like, that was so fun. But yeah, this one was awesome. So they had 4 different escape rooms to pick from. We did the one that was the least scariest because 2 of them were super creepy. That would have scared my son. And yeah, she was so nice. They actually let us go in for an extra 10 minutes because we were so close to solving it. And we solved it and we escaped. And in Mester's hand, there is a red little ruby. So we made it. We got the ruby, and so fun. If you're ever in Medicine Hat, you really should do the escape room. And then lastly, we were just driving and we saw a place called Fun and Games, which totally remind me of my hometown when I was growing up. We had a place called Ruckers. It's like a little kid arcade with a bunch of different games, and you beat the games, you win tickets, and then you take the tickets, you can buy prizes with it. And that's exactly what this was. And it was so much fun. Messer is really good at this one here where you throw the ball up and it goes in the hoops. He was really good at that. But his favorite, I think, was air hockey. He would kick our butts. And it was a great trip. And then that night we did stay in Medicine Hat as well with a pool again. And we went swimming when we got back. And the next day we did the long drive home back to Lloydminster. So this guestware trips, I would rate it probably 8.5 out of 10. I say that because we did go off track, but we should have scanned the QR code. But it was so much fun. They even had a music playlist made for the trip on Spotify. How cool is that? I highly, highly recommend you try the guestware trips. I hope this video helps you decide whether or not you're going to do the trip and how to navigate your trip. Thanks for watching. all cool. It was kind of crazy because the town where this Old Man River Brewing was located in was so small that there was this trip. If you are in the area, you have to check out Lundbreck Falls. It's just beautiful. And then from there, we went to